1946. After World War II, European children face famine and disease. Unicef is created in December 1946 by the United Nations to provide food, clothing, and health care. 1953. The United Nations General Assembly extends UNICEF's mandate indefinitely. UNICEF begins a successful global campaign against yaws, a disfiguring disease affecting millions of children and one that can be cured with penicillin. 1954. The movie star Danny Kaye becomes UNICEF's ambassador at large. His film Assignment Children, about UNICEF's work in Asia, is seen by more than 100 million people. 1959. The United Nations General Assembly adopts the Declaration of Rights of the Child, which defines children's rights to protection, education, healthcare, shelter, and good nutrition. 1961. Following more than a decade of focus on child health issues, UNICEF expands its interest to address the needs of the whole child. Thus begins an abiding concern with education, starting with support to teacher training and classroom equipment in newly independent countries. 1965. UNICEF is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for the promotion of brotherhood among nations. 1979. Marked by celebrations around the world, people and organizations reaffirm their commitment to children's rights. 1981. The World Health Assembly adopts the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes in order to encourage breastfeeding. In so doing, diminish the threats to infant health. 1982. UNICEF launches a drive to save the lives of millions of children each year. This revolution is based on 4 simple, low-cost techniques: growth monitoring, oral rehydration therapy, breastfeeding, and immunization. 1987. UNICEF's study Adjustment with a Human Face prompts a global debate on how to protect children and women from the malign effects of economic adjustment and reforms taken to reduce national debt in poor countries. 1989. The convention is adopted by the United Nations General Assembly. It enters into force in September 1990. It becomes the most widely and rapidly accepted human rights treaty in history. 1990. An unprecedented summit of heads of state and government at the United Nations in New York City sets a 10-year goal for children's health, nutrition, and education. 1996. War's effect on children receives serious attention in the Michel Report, The Impact of Armed Conflict on Children, a study supported by UNICEF. 1998. The Council's first open debate on the subject reflects strength of international concern over the effects of war on children. 2001. The global movement for children begins mobilizing every citizen of every nation to change the world with children. The Say Yes to Children campaign builds on this momentum, with millions of children and adults around the world pledging their support to critical actions to improve children's lives. 2002. A landmark special session of the United Nations General Assembly was convened to review progress since the World Summit for Children in 1990 and re-energize global commitment to children's rights. It was the first such session devoted exclusively to children and the first to include them as official delegates.